Virgo, who out there is trying to mind their own business before they hurt somebody's feelings? These cards took a while to come up. Usually we're real quick with it. With our ruler, Mercury, retrograde in Sagittarius, I feel like mum is the word for the most part because there's a desire to cut throats, I think. Look at the coffee cup that I'm drinking out of today so that everybody knows what time it is. I use that one once in a while when, first of all, I need a giant cup of coffee, but also when I'm like, you know what, before I hurt somebody's feelings. First out the deck, we do have the 10 of Pentacles with the 2 of Pentacles. And I feel like finances is not only a focus this month, but having all of your ducks in a row in a way that like goes beyond the Virgo typical, right? Because this is like, you know what, I want a beautiful house. I want to be able to have the money to dote on my family and friends for the holidays. I want to, you know, pay off that debt. And with the 2 of Pentacles, you may be working a second job, or you may have picked up an extra stream of income. But also I feel like you're learning how to balance your work and personal life in a way that I don't think that you have in quite a while. Because I just feel like your time and your money is getting allocated to things that serve you better. Because you know, being a workaholic isn't always beneficial if we never know when to take a rest, if we never know when to, you know, splurge on ourselves, if we never know when to, you know, get back to focusing on our well-being and things like that. So I feel like you are creating the balance required to have, you know, money in the bank, a beautiful home, all these cards falling out, and just overall everything that you need. Over here we have Justice with the King of Swords. So this can be Libra energy. I don't know if some of you have met a Libra potentially at work and you're like, oh, hey, Libra. Or some of you also are, you know, looking to finalize some sort of contract, especially if you work in contractual work where you have to like, you know, solicit clients to lock in new contracts. But and don't fear signing contracts during Mercury retrograde. I can't stress that enough because yes, it's our ruler or whatever, but I feel like in that way we know how to work with the energy better than the average person. Just, you know, double check everything, read everything twice, you know, and I wouldn't do anything that's unnecessary, but if it's part of your life, go ahead and handle it. With Justice here, I feel like it's become also very clear to you what you want from people and out of life in general. I feel like there is an immense sense of clarity, and I really don't feel like you're in the mood to play games with anybody. I feel like you're adopting a little bit of a stoicism this month. I think that it's really about you and your business. It's just like business as usual, or like don't take it personal, it's just business type of energy. I think that you're having a good time, and I think that you're in a good space. But with Justice and the King of Swords, I do feel it's like you're also trying to stay above the fray because you know, like now's not a time to meddle in a lot of like now's not a time to play with fire, because you know it's just time to get down to business. And it's like, I don't have time to invest myself in like, you know, a bunch of like messy emotional stuff. I don't have time to invest myself in things that are not feeding my pockets, things that are not bringing me more of a sense of peace as well. Okay. All right, Virgo. Before I get into all of this, because as usual, it's a lot. I do mid-month readings that potentially shift this outcome, as well as love readings. All that info is in the description box if you want to get that. Make sure you read, because I'm not like other readers. I don't do the mid-month reading right away. I let the energy start to shift and then I do them. And also now's a great time for year ahead readings. That info's in the description box as well if you want to book that now. I always think that the energy is very interesting when we are experiencing a season that squares or opposes our sign. So when we're dealing with a mutable cross, right? So Virgo's mutable, Gemini, Sagittarius, Pisces. And I believe it was last month that I told y'all that there's something that's coming around the equinox of Pisces into Aries. And we literally have these two cards here, the Moon and the Emperor. And all this advice was Sagittarius. So there's something about we're a quarter into our solar year, right? Especially if you're a Virgo sun. And there's something that you're struggling with now that is all going to make sense by the time we have our full moon in Virgo. It's either going to be in February or March. I'm not entirely sure. And before I get into these cards, and it's fascinating to me that they're successive numbers. This is 12 and this is 13. On the bottom of the deck was the first chakra, the root chakra. And I didn't love this card, so I cut the deck and I asked further clarify this card, and I got the sixth chakra, or the third eye. So, first of all, this card, financial constraint, I don't think anyone is all of a sudden going to like lose their job or, you know, fall on hard times or something. But a lot of us feel broke after the holidays because the holidays is a big time of giving and overextending ourselves. And a lot of times, because the first chakra is here, a lot of times we feel broke because we're doing what needs to get done to make ourselves more secure. So it's like if you all of a sudden pay off a huge debt, like, you know, a student loan debt or a credit card debt, your bank account may seem really low, but you also have nothing hanging over your head. You know what I'm saying? So I would not get too caught up in the, we'll say, caveats that come with living righteously. And I say living righteously because the other energy that you're being initiated into is the temple path, right? So this is 12 and this is 13. And sometimes being that 13 is really a 4 with this financial constraint, sometimes we have to, in order to get stable, put out more, right? In order to get things together. Like I'm feeling like most people are, you need to know that you're walking your path and you need to know that you're in alignment. And sometimes that requires paying out. Sometimes that requires kind of ridding ourselves and shedding ourselves of situations. And with first chakra being on the bottom of the deck, I also am feeling like some of us may have been holding on to money, like a stockpile of money, but had debt. And it's like you have to even all of that out and not be afraid that more money won't come to you. Again, like I said in the beginning, some of you may be working extra jobs to clear all of that kind of stuff. I don't really feel like Virgo has time for really anything besides themselves and their personal goals right now. Because with first chakra, there's a huge focus on getting yourself secure and getting yourself feeling safe because you realize that nobody else can do it. And that if you live in survival mode any longer, it's going to be extremely detrimental to you. It's getting all your ducks in a row. The overall energy is the Death card. And, you know, I always feel like Scorpio season is pretty easy on Virgo. I think that we lend well to it. Yes, we don't really love change, but we like digging deep into our psyche. And there's a new way that I feel that you are working with the earth modality. I feel there's a new way that you are starting to understand your world around you and what you can create. Because there's a lot of interesting cards here, and especially in the outcome, that are really a shift, I feel, in agenda. And I just really, in a strong way, feel like no one else is involved. Like, this has nothing to do with anybody else. Nobody else is causing you to make these moves. Nobody else is being considered in the plans that you're creating. You're like, I have a way to go about things. And I also don't have time for any, like, to get thrown for any loops with this financial constraint here. I also just feel like now's a good time to be loose, tight with your purse strings as well. Like, again, not with paying debt and bills and stuff like that, but just like spending. You may not want to go crazy this holiday season. Like, if you know, I'm gonna tell you right now, personally, I already told people in my life, like, I'm not really doing much for Christmas because that doesn't serve me or you. So that's not what we're doing. But with the death card here, it's important to remember as well that change is inevitable. And all we can do is adapt. And I don't think that you're fighting that this month. But what you're being asked to release is the Nine of Cups with the rune Self and the Ace of Pentacles. So I do think that some of you are having to, again, I think you're having to pay out some money that you were holding on to because it made you feel safer and it made you feel more content. This also can be things like, let's say you get one of those like makeup subscriptions, you know, where you pay 20 bucks a month and they send you samples and things like that. I feel like you're cutting back expenses on things that you don't really need. Not because you literally need that $10, like that $10 is gonna, or $20 is gonna make or break you, but I feel like anything that you've been putting financial or physical effort towards that has been 120% self-serving, I feel like you're cutting back. Because the Nine of Cups, there's nothing wrong with that, right? It's a wish card and stuff like that, even though I don't usually find that wishes are actually granted with the Nine of Cups. I feel like that's more the star. However, the Nine of Cups speaks to also comfortability. And some of you also may be having to step out of your comfort zone in the ways that you work with money, work with financial opportunity, and earn money in order to step onto your path of prosperity. Because I feel like Virgo's had enough, right? They've had enough to, you know, pay their bills. They've had enough to, you know, get by or whatever. But now is a time of like true flourishing and like working with, again, the earth modality in a different way. So if there's been anything in your life that you've been doing simply out of pleasure seeking, like any effort you've been applying to 100% pleasure, which there's nothing wrong with being in pleasure, but I feel like it was hurting you in some way. It could be even like an emotional thing, right? Let's say that you're like, you were investing a lot of time in, you know, pursuing sexual encounters, right? Let's just, as an example. That obviously wasn't costing you money with the Ace of Pentacles here, but it was wasting an opportunity that you could have put that energy towards something else and something, you know what I mean, that would serve you better. I just feel like it's time to like get down to business, and it's no longer time to reside in your comfort zone, and it's no longer time to play it safe either. I feel like this is a time where you have to like put all your skills to the test. And I had said in the beginning that I think you're being a little stoic, and we have the Emperor here, which is like King Stoic. In this energy, though, it's technically Aries, feels very Saturnian to me. And, you know, obviously if you already have a love relationship, that's fine, but I don't really feel like this is the month to be pursuing anybody. Because I think also what you want from a partner or what you need from a partner, it is going up like 6 notches. So there's just no time for BS. The door that's not open for you that was once closed, we have the Four of Swords with the Seven of Wands. And on the Seven of Wands, we have the rune Trust. I feel like you're needing to take a break from, again, like dating, from other people, from your friends, and just letting people have access to you, okay? Because the Seven of Wands is something that, defending something that you've earned, whether that be status, whether that be a job title, whether that be, again, that money, whether it be your home, your lifestyle, things that you've worked for And people know that they're yours. People know that it's innately Virgo that owns that level of that air about you, that level of success or whatever. And some of you maybe need to take a break from, again, the dating scene, or even if this is like a second job or a side hustle or something. I just feel like, not that Virgo is a limelight type of person, but I feel like it's time to pull way back, like trying to draw the curtains and kind of not let anybody know what you have cooking, not let anybody know what you have going on. People are going to be like, where's Virgo? Especially by the middle of the month. I feel like people are going to be like, where did Virgo go? You could also be retracting yourself from social media, though I don't necessarily feel that that's the case here. But this is like a quote, get low and build type of energy. Because I just think that who you are at your core is changing. And sometimes it's really hard to change out in the open, because I also am feeling like some of you may have attracted people that were jealous of everything that you have. And when people throw like mal de ojo, when people throw like the evil eye or bad juju at you, like that can cause you to have tighter money than you wanted to, or feel more negative about yourself, be more tired, things like that. So I feel like it's important that you trust your intuition when it comes to who you're feeling about cutting off or not communicating with anymore. Like, this doesn't feel like a cutting off, like something bad happens and you decide to sever ties. But the Four of Swords is a withdrawal type of energy. There is a complete lack of communication, but it's kind of like fading to black. It's kind of just like all of a sudden you're just not there anymore. And it's because I feel like too many people were wanting access to you. And I feel like also too many people were vying for you to trust them, or you were trying to get people to trust you. And it's like, trust is something technically that is earned, right? But if you're trusting your judgment and the other person has, is trusting sound judgment, there doesn't need to be this like battle of like, can you trust me? Whatever. And I feel like it's also kind of month to quote, protect your peace. Not because people are coming for it, but because you just have a lot to do and you just don't have time for other people to be all up in your business. And it's definitely not time for you to explain yourself or explain why you have all these irons in the fire. And I feel like for you to have your head on straight and everything, all your energy flowing to exactly where it needs to flow, you just don't have time for other people. And your current energy as it relates to all of this, in your head, we have the Moon. In your heart, we have the Emperor. And in your foundation, we have the Page of Cups. And on the Page of Cups, we have the rune Constraint. So again, I feel like some of you may be retracting love offers. And even friendships. I feel like there might be like, this might be the kind of time of the year too where you're like, you're finding out who your friends are for real, or you're finding out who you can trust for real. I don't necessarily feel like anyone is gossiping about you or anything like that. I just feel like, again, you're just kind of like, nah, I'm good. Because I have big dreams that I want to achieve with the Moon here in your headspace, and I don't have time to be explaining myself to you or letting you know what's going on in my head. Though, because of the outcome, even though it'll probably shift for the mid-month, with the Moon here, I will say this. I feel like it's best to keep your agenda to yourself. Keep what's sacred to yourself. Because I do feel like Virgo is attracting this month, or has attracted and is trying to rid themselves of some people that are jealous. And people that kind of want to know your business just to throw shade. You know what I'm saying? And with the Moon here, the Moon does sometimes rule, secrets, and it rules, illusions. But I don't necessarily feel like this is delusional energy. This to me feels like needing to move in silence. And I also feel like it's best to not tell people what you have going on, because I don't think that you really know everyone's motives. And with the Emperor in your heart space, this month, one, I feel like you need to put your heart in your business and put your heart into building more structure, feeling safe, feeling secure, getting everything in order, right? This is very root chakra-ish energy. And being in leading yourself, in leading your life in a very structured manner. I feel like you need to put your heart into creating more discipline for yourself as well. Now, this Emperor is side-eyeing this energy over here. And I feel like that's saying that if there's someone that you thought you trusted, but at the same time there was some element that was off, now's the time to cut that. If anyone is begging you to trust them and believe them, I feel like that's also a red flag. Okay? With the Page of Cups in your foundation and the rune constraint, I just think that you're being very stingy with the people that you're extending your compassion and your empathy to as well. This is friends, this is whoever. I feel like I'd be weary of people that are really kissing your ass this month. Now, you'll know, because with this Emperor stuff in your heart space, like, your heart is, I wouldn't say it's guarded, but it's a fortress that has that has people patrolling the walls with machine guns. You know what I'm saying? So you are aware of what's going on. I don't feel like anybody is going to slip past security and screw things up. But I just feel like right now, your life is about your money. Your life is about your coin. Your life is about how to have everything in order. And I just don't think you have time for child's play with this Page of Cups down here. I also think that, again, on some level, you're lacking empathy for people. And this doesn't mean you're, in general, not empathetic or compassionate. I just think that you're like, no, I'm good. Maybe this is like a thank you next Ariana Grande energy, except Virgo's more like, fuck you next. But again, with the moon here, if you're feeling unclear about anything this month, I feel like the answer would be less is more. Do less, say less, participate less, reveal less, and then handle it later. All right? Because what Spirit's advising you this month is the Knight of Wands with the rune Standstill and Temperance. So I feel like this is saying a couple things. One, I feel like Sagittarius season is going to move very quickly. And a lot is going to change. And I feel like that's true because Venus is going to come back into Scorpio. And obviously Mercury's retrograde in Sag. And it's going to slide back into Scorpio as well. And when that happens, and that happens like the first week of December, and that's also around when, I think the 7th is the Sagittarius new moon. I feel like that's when all of whatever this is going to come to light. And when things are changing very quickly, it's hard to make a decision, right? A definitive decision. And this is the kind of energy where it's like, you can only do it once. So be mindful of what you're about to do. Also, I feel like this is reminding you that healing is not an overnight process. So don't try to rush or spiritually bypass anything that comes up this month. And that's why I think you're really keeping to yourself. Because if you engage too much in a conversation about, especially about someone that hurt you or someone that kind of turned you off or someone that you felt like was going to be, you know, a long-term partner or whatever, now is the time to just keep it moving and keep it to yourself. Because the Temperance requires patience, right? And trying to put the emotional back into the physical and creating a new alchemical connection as well. Because I was saying before how I feel like you're learning to use the earth modality in a new way. And this is overall about healing as well. And I feel like if you are doing too much and overextending yourself to people, you will get sick, like physically sick, whether it be a cold or whatever. But with the Knight of Wands and Standstill, I feel like just now is also not a time to be reactionary. People don't need your energy, and they don't deserve your energy either. Yeah, because you don't have to prove your happiness to anybody. And if this is a Leo or someone that's very childish or someone that you used to be really happy about, I just feel like all of that is on pause to reflect. Also, you know, the thing too with the sun here is I think that things will get more muddy and unclear if you are quick to react. I feel like clarity comes from deep reflection this month. Yeah, especially when it comes to love and family matters and what will make you happy. Because I feel like, oh yeah, and then we got the Two of Cups. Because all is just not what it seems, especially when it comes to partners and when it comes to friends. I feel like by the end of, by Capricorn season, I think that everyone's agenda will be revealed, especially if you're dealing with a fire sign or someone that is very self-centered or self-serving. So just be patient. The snakes will reveal themselves in the grass. Just tend to your lawn. You know what I'm saying? The most likely outcome moving into January, we have the Ten of Swords with the rune Strength. And then we have the Five of Cups and the Tower. But we have the rune Victory. Okay? So that's what's interesting. I'm going to pull more cards on this. But that's what's interesting is I don't think that we're really that upset. Did I say Leo had this here as well? The Ten of Swords with Strength is I feel like if you're closing a door going into the new year, Virgo, you're slamming that shit. You're slamming it, you're locking it, and you're throwing away the key. And you don't even care to find the key again. Okay? I feel that you're learning to... I feel like you're also learning the strength of ending things and the strength of letting things rejuvenate on their own. Because it's almost like I feel like some of you may try to end things, like, or in general, you have this pattern where you try to end things, and then it's like, well, our connection is so strong, or like they're so intuitively connected to you that in the process of your Ten of Swords, they come back, and then it ends up just putting you in a Five of Cups type of place, because there's like a cycle. It's like every time you try to end something, they come back and upset you again. But with the Victory rune being on the Five of Cups, I feel like if a situation has consistently disappointed you and it's like you always try to get over it or you always try to move on from these people, because it definitely isn't just like a romantic person. It's like whatever situation. It's finally going to come to a screeching halt. And I feel like you're going to be surprised at how quickly you successfully lay all of this shit to rest. Because this Five of Cups is usually not something new that's upsetting us or disappointing us. But with the Tower here, it's like, I feel like you're surprised at how easy it was to let this go. And the other person may not be having that kind of time. They may be like, what? I have no idea. What even happened? It's like, screw you, dog. I'm the fucking boss. Oops. Spirit, further clarify the Ten of Swords as the most likely outcome for Virgos moving into the month of January 2019. Oh my God, where did this year go? Queen of Cups. Further clarify the Five of Cups combined with the Tower and the most likely outcome moving into January for Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. Wow. All right. So we have the Five of Cups again, the Five of Wands, and the Sun, and on the bottom of the deck is Judgment. So this is a situation that I feel like has come back again and again and again. This is not all of a sudden something new is going to end or someone new is going to like shatter anything. The Queen of Cups is also saying that I feel like you're putting an end to being empathetic to a fault, like I was saying before, or being understanding and intuitive to a fault. Because sometimes we can read people really, really well, and it's like we give them a pass because we understand how they are, and we can really read their energy. I also feel like you're going to be severing a really, really strong psychic connection with somebody, in telepathic connection. You might need to do some cord cutting, or you could be cutting off a water sign, right? Or someone that, might be deceptive. Okay. And with the Five of Cups and the Tower being clarified by the Five of Cups again, the Five of Wands and the Sun, I feel like it's becoming immensely clear to you that the situation that you fought for over and over again, or fought to not be sad, or fought to get to that Two of Cups, right? Because this is the Three of Cups is always like old friends, old situations that used to bring you happiness that no longer do. And it's like sometimes we fight to repair things, and it's just not worth it with the Judgment here. It's just not worth it. I feel like, you know, those people. Yeah, this was a cycle with the Ten of Wands here, or the Wheel of Fortune here. I feel like the people that you're going to cut off or stop identifying with, stop identifying as the understander, the empath, the supportive person, whatever it is. I feel like you're going to realize how much it was weighing on your ability to see clearly, how much it was weighing on your ability to be free, how much it was weighing on your ability to just enjoy life. And then we have the Chariot. You're going to move forward. This could also be a Cancer. Okay. So shed yourself. Yeah, I got the King of Cups. Shed yourself by any means necessary, Virgo. Okay? You don't have to be rude. You don't have to give people an explanation. You have the right to ghost people if you want to. Because I feel like you've been considerate long enough. All right? Love y'all. Peace.